Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. We on the break. It's fast break. We on the break. It's fast break. Let's go.
Hey.
I like that. What's good, world? What's good? Oh, you thought you got away from the theme song. That's when you thought it was over.
We on the break. It's fast
We
break.
back.
Let's go.
Happy New Year!
2025 sounds crazy, man.
It is crazy.
Basically living in the
Sounds
future.
like futuristic, man.
This man just pulled water out of the Fast Breaks logo. This is a magician you're seeing, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
do things differently, man. Come on, man. That's a fridge.
What?
That basketball? Come on, man.
I am Ro, the hostess with the mostest, and you know this. To my right,
Slow
they
down,
call
brother.
him King Drake.
Stop watching.
That was crazy. Hey, yo.
Yo,
Hey,
I just want to know if Dre
It's
is ever gonna let me finish an intro ever
Never.
again.
Never.
Well, I'm gonna skip who he is because he clearly introduced himself. So above him is Alan
Hey, Dre.
Plan,
What's good?
and to his left we call him Coach Paul, PRR Sports 1995, which makes this man 30 this year.
Relax, man.
Welcome to that.
Just turned 29.
Welcome to that, brother.
Hey yo,
I'm
Welcome to
closer
that,
to 20 to 28 than 30 though. Right so far.
Huh?
We're in the same boat, brother. That's crazy.
That's a fuck.
Welcome to 30, my boys.
Oh yeah, this man been
Oh,
old.
that's a fact. This
ugh.
I mean, I've only been 30 for like 3 weeks, so
Ugh.
I'm in my 20s. I don't know about you.
I'm not. in
It's
my
over.
20s.
It's
You
over.
know who else's birthday just passed?
Who?
Goat James. Goat James.
Oh, James.
Who's that? Who is that?
James.
Pouring
Goat
birthday
James.
honey on my goat.
Yo!
sorry.
Sunshine.
I'm sorry.
Sunshine.
What?
That's not even my goat though. That's the thing. Y'all know that.
That's not my
Yeah.
That's not even my goat. That's why I
That's
can
not
say that
goat
because y'all know that's a lie.
That's Draymond's goat. What are we saying?
No, that's not. That's his king.
That's his king, my glorious king.
Bro,
They say.
I still can't believe that's real, bro. Y'all broke that news to me on this pod. Right? You wasn't
Bro,
here
you
for
seen it. You seen him in the clip right there. How did he get to LA?
that. That's crazy.
You understand that man
That
got
was
on a
crazy.
plane for a birthday party?
Oh man.
You understand that,
He
right?
wasn't finna miss that. That's crazy.
Bro, San Francisco to South LA is a flight.
Wait,
Bridges
bro,
had a
do
game
you
that
remember?
night, too.
Remember he asked the Warriors permission to miss a
To
game
go to the game where Bron was getting 40,000. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't get your ass on the court, Draymond, that is
Yo,
nuts,
could I
bro.
slide to my man's? Yeah,
Crazy. Asking permission. Like, bro, did you even miss like the kid's
Yo, what would
wrist
they
for a
list?
game?
What would they list as absent as? Personal, family matter.
Family matters, man.
Yes.
That's
Family emergency.
crazy.
Religious practices.
Religious.
Nah, because even Kyrie be playing during Ramadan.
OD.
Oh,
That man be
man.
playing on no food or water, bro.
Bro,
OD.
what, bro? Nah.
Oh my god.
He's playing his best self too on Ramadan. Ramadan Kyrie is unguardable.
Chill out.
Ramadan Kyrie. No, I'm here to talk. Ramadan Kyrie is top 5 in all time. Right up there with Hoodie
right
Noah.
about something don't feel right about you saying that. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you should chill out.
I'm here for Ramadan Kyrie.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start with disrespect first. Mike
Okay.
Brown
Charles
fired once again.
Charles Barkley.
React.
Talk
React.
about it.
No. We'll get to Lakers
Hey,
later because
Charles
we have
Barkley, got
plenty to
the word
talk about with
from
the
JJ.
Lakers. I don't want to come off as biased. See, Paul, if there's ever some Nick news, this man Paul is going to turn this podcast immediately into side talk, into fast break side talk. I'm not going to do that.
You can because the Lakers are trash.
This
But-
isn't that. Okay, we'll come back to that point. But this isn't fast break. This isn't fast breaks Laker film room. Okay, shout out to Laker film room, by the way. We should collab. This is fast breaks. So
Knicks Fan TV first.
this is fast breaks, and the Kings broke fast. Shout out to Ramadan. Broke fast from Mike Brown.
Hold on, wait.
Triple entendre.
I see.
Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how.
Come on, man.
React. I'm gonna go Allen. React. Mike Brown. Another black coach fired.
Another
Son,
black coach fired, man.
they love that.
And on
That's why I'm
top,
not going to Andre first. That's why I'm not going to Andre first. I'm going to Allen.
Wait a second. What the hell did I do? Hold on.
another black coach fired. Bro, you got a history, Andre.
What?
OG fast break.
They said
OG
Andre needs
fast
the
break
Rooney
fans
rule.
know.
They said if
OG
Andre was
fast break fans
hiring,
know.
they said if Andre was hiring, you would need the Rooney rule.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, hired in the NBA, but this one is weird because it came out of nowhere. Like I don't think anyone expected. I didn't hear no reports of locker room disgruntles or none of that. Like, and I know the Kings have been not performing as great, and they're kind of like on a losing slump. But this came out of nowhere. On top of the firing, they added disrespect to that man. They let him practices. The reports said that they fired him on the way to a plane while they were going to an away game or a road trip, and that is crazy. He don't deserve that. And I'm not saying, it's not the worst thing in the world because he's still going to get paid and everything. But the good thing about the NBA is that they have guaranteed contracts. But at the end of the day, man, you got to owe some respect. I kind of been waiting all week to hear more reports about it. I thought more bombshell stuff was gonna drop and more leaks and everything's gonna drop because Mike Brown was hired 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3-4, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. He won Coach of the Year 2 years ago. The new the GM who was just hired at the time, the GM that hired him, and you don't let go of the coach that you hired that fast, especially if you won awards and everything, because your coaching hiring is a huge reflection of the GM. So usually it's the new regime comes in, takes over, and fires the previous coach. And that's usually what happens. But with this, Mike Brown has had some success. The Kings went from the laughing stock to the league. Now they had a little motion. You know what I mean? They did the whole the beam stuff. They had
Like the beam.
there was some excitement around the team. It was a little corny, but it was the most excitement that Kings fan had in 20 years. So to see him let go, I feel I really feel like
20
there was
years they had DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, but even with DeMarcus, they never. I don't think they ever touched the playoffs with DeMarcus. You know what I mean?
Right. But he was exciting.
He was
not really. He was exciting when he was getting kicked out of games.
Yeah. They had some good players, but they didn't even sniff the playoffs. They just kept having really bad seasons and stuff. So I was expecting to hear some more news because the firing don't make any sense. I thought we were going to hear more strife between like maybe upper management or ownership with him, and it just don't make sense to me. So I'm waiting to hear back more reports, and I don't know I don't know what this means for the Kings though.
So to provide some context, the Kings are currently 12th in the West at 16-19. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they've won 3 in a row. And those 3 are the first 3 games without Mike Brown coaching. So, Paul, how does that land on you? And Alan, I do have a point about something that has come out afterwards, but it's a really good point to transition to our next topic with. So I'm gonna hold on to it, but just stay tuned on that. Paul, what do you think? They've won 3 games since they fired him. Was it the right move?
No. Teams always win a little bit, just a little bit more right after they lose, right after they fire the coach. That always happens, even with bad teams. I don't know why. I guess it's like they have to have more camaraderie and depend on each other more, at least for a few games, because they have the voice is gone, the head voice is gone. So who's really directing them? You know what I mean? The interim coach wasn't the leader or the lead voice on that team on the floor, on the sidelines. So I guess they feel like we gotta depend on each other, and it's kind of like this, I don't know, momentum or energy. I don't know. But the NBA coaching culture is toxic. It is horrible. Well, let me say this too before I even go into that. They call it DeMar DeRozan the coach killer now.
Hey,
according to reports.
Hey, what's his name?
Well, I'm gonna get to that, Dre.
Hey, hold on. Who was the star of the team with the coach that won Coach of the Year that got fired the year he
Dwayne Casey,
and it was
DeMar
DeMar
DeRozan. So they listen. I'll say this like quick about that because I think that's not for real. That's just like a joke. But I think his game makes it hard for teams to win, and that's a different conversation.
DeMar DeRozan, you're saying?
Yes.
What about his game makes it hard for teams to win?
Because I don't want to go too deep into that because that's
I want to go. Pause.
But I'll say this. I'll answer your question.
What in the world?
What do you say? I didn't even hear what you said. I'm glad.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm glad I didn't hear what you said.
Take that next step.
All right. Anyway,
Yo, what's good with you?
What are you talking about? What do you think? I literally didn't hear what you said. What do you say?
What is you're talking about? Take the next step.
Anyway, the thing is, he's not at this point in his career not going to be the best player on the team, and as the not best player on the team, it's kind of hard for you to just not take threes.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because you're playing off ball a lot. So yes, it's important. It's like Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart is great at cutting and driving. That's his specialty outside of playmaking, right? On the offensive end.
Don't forget his rebounds. I don't think he has any weaknesses.
No, but I'm talking about strictly offense. Strictly offense.
Got it.
He's better as a playmaker and a cutter, right? But he's taking a lot more threes and he's shooting a high percentage because he has to, because he's playing off ball a lot. DeMar DeRozan is not doing that. You see what I'm saying? So it makes it harder on teams to have a fluid offense. But anyway, I'm not blaming DeMar DeRozan. They got a little bit of turmoil on the Kings, and they decide to fire the coach that really brought them back to relevance.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He got them in shape. He made them relevant. This is a down year, but to give up on a coach,
2 down years in a row, though. To be
is
fair.
it really two? Last year they weren't this bad.
They were in the play-in.
Last year they didn't make the playoffs.
They were, yeah. You go from the first seed to a play-in, and then you lose your play-in game, and so you don't make the play. Yeah, 2 years ago they were the number 1 seed in the West.
They were the number
and
one.
And then they lost.
There was number 1, but they were up there.
They were either 1 or 2, bro.
Yeah, they were high.
No, like not even. They were either 1 or 2. I'm almost certain of it.
But nah.
But they lost in the first round to the Warriors. Right, so you flame out in your first time back in the playoffs with a high seed. Then the next year you're in the play-in and you lose the play-in, so you miss the playoffs.
So
All right,
now,
they were third. My bad. They were third.
yeah, there was no way they were that high. I don't remember them ever being that high, but they went from like third to what, seventh?
No, because they're in the play-in.
So yeah, like we're like 7, 8.
I think they were 9.
9. They were
They were
9.
9.
Yeah.
Now here's the question: was the record that different?
The year they were 9, they were 46 and 36. The
Mm-hmm.
year they were third, they were 48 and 34. So a 2-game
right.
regression.
All right, you see
2-game
what I'm saying?
regression.
Because I remember last year wasn't that down. Like people were like, "Oh, they're in the plane," but they were still a tough team. They were a tough out. The
Yeah, but
West,
now they're 16 and 19. They're
and to
you're
me,
going in the wrong direction.
in a way, yes, but at the same time, I'm not blaming the coach because, like you said, there was only a 2-game difference between the 2 years. 1 year they were third, and 1 year they were ninth because the West is that tight, right? Now this year's a bad year. So this is a bad year. You're gonna quit on the guy that got you there. There are not a lot of better coaches out there than Mike Brown.
There are very few.
They could
Right.
argue. They could argue we improved the roster though.
Did they really,
With who?
DeMar?
I mean, that's the argument. You had a 2-game regression. We re-signed Malik Monk, who you liked as a coach. You got Sabonis. You got Fox. Keegan Murray is 2 more years older and more experienced, and we added a veteran in DeMar DeRozan. How does that turn into you being even worse?
But see,
Because
here's the
we're-
problem, though.
People, sorry.
Go ahead, Andre,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, people listen. I love DeMar DeRozan. I think he's great, but and don't use this year as don't use this year as like necessarily the biggest comparison. But in years past, I mean, specifically last year and the year before, there wasn't that big of a difference between DeMar DeRozan and Harrison Barnes. DeMar DeRozan, yes, is an improvement. But for the play style of how the Kings are trying to play, playing through De'Aaron Fox, it doesn't change all that much. They need to make much other improvements along the bench with defense. And why are we not looking at De'Aaron Fox? I mean, we're talking about the roster you have.
He's having his best year, arguably.
Yeah, he is. And they're still a worse team. I don't know if that has to do with Mike Brown.
How's Sabonis doing? Is he having a great year?
He's doing 20 and 14 and 6. His assists are a little down and his scoring is a little down, but
So
I would argue that's still pretty good. Yeah.
And then also you got to look at the West. You know, good teams are not doing great this year. It's kind of a flip-flop year. The Rockets are in the top 3.
See, no, I think we have to. It's a paradigm shift year where we have to start realizing that certain teams are actually bad and certain teams are actually good. The Rockets are not overachieving. The Rockets are this year what Paul thought they would be last year, and he still owes me.
Would have been. I'm gonna give you a push up,
and he still owes me.
I will give it to you. I said I'm gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it. But the Rockets would have been pretty good last year if Sengun didn't go down at a pivotal point in the year.
Possibly. Like if you look at the top 6, like non-playing teams, all those are good teams. There's no overachievers there, and the guys that are 7 through 12, where the Kings are, even though those guys have a lot of big names, those are not good teams. The Clippers they're not that good. I mean, the Clippers are decent, so I would say 1 through 7 is
Kawhi's coming back.
The Spurs are not a good team. They're an average team, and they're getting off because Chris Paul is helping them win some games. The Warriors are bad. The Timberwolves are bad. The Suns are bad, and the Kings are bad.
I think the
Kings aren't bad. That's the thing.
They are, though. They're not a good team.
Yeah. The Timberwolves are in a. See, here's the thing, though. Right.
I look at the Timberwolves are bad. Honestly, I think
the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves are bad.
The Timberwolves are taking a long time to develop chemistry. I don't know if they're gonna ever get it, but I think because they have. I mean, look, they've had a big trade, so I'm gonna give them some grace. I think the Kings.
I mean, we're almost halfway through the season at this point. We're at like 34 games. Like, at what point do we start saying teams are what they are?
All-Star.
No,
All-Star.
All-Star is 2/3 through the year. All-Star is not halfway. That's the thing people always mess up. All-Star is 2/3 through the year.
It's a fact.
We are 6 games out of halfway point. Like, unless you're expecting something crazy to happen in these next 6 games, this is the conference.
I'm looking at the All-Star because things could change. People catch on fire late.
Listen, there's a big. It's not
a lot of question marks right now.
It shouldn't be lost on. I mean, we keep that metric for a reason. How teams do after the All-Star break. There's this reinvigoration that either playing what other All-Stars gives you or having the weekend off gives you. And there's a reason that some teams go on crazy runs after All-Star break. So I don't know. I mean, yes, we should be paying attention to it, but I don't know if this is necessarily the final seeding.
It's not. And my thing is that falls into like more my point. And I understand what you're saying, Ro, but like they're 16. What's the record? 16 what? 18?
16 and 19.
16-19 is not a good record, but I don't think that's fireable bad. You know what I mean?
No, it's 45%. They're just a hair under 50%. They're a 50%.
Yeah, they're close to being a 500 win team. The team has been open. But listen to my point. The team has been openly trying to improve the roster. And like Paul said, his coach has been consistently he's had a consistent record since he's been on the team. You're openly trying to make the roster better. I don't understand what was the point of firing him at this point in the season. Even if they like, let's say at the end of the season they had another 46, 44, 48 win season, why not fire him then? I don't understand what's the point of firing him now. Like
because it's over. No, because it's over. D Fox
is it over though?
D Fox is up for extension, and we'll use this to transition to the next topic. D Fox is up for extension, and he's indicated he's not signing it unless he sees something drastic change. We've already signed a big free agent this summer. There's only one other thing we can do to change this team to try to lock him in.
Nah, man. See, here's the problem.
Or we know that we're not going to lock him in, and he's walking, and Mike Brown's not a coach for a rebuild. If we're about to trade him off and unload and rebuild, might as well send Mike Brown on his way now.
So, are you trading Sabonis too?
Probably.
I don't think the Kings are in a position where they're like, I'm going to give up like that. I don't think so. Maybe you have.
I mean, you don't let D Fox walk for nothing. So unless you think you can flip him into another All-Star to pair with Sabonis, which I don't know if you can, so you're probably gonna get picks back. I don't think anyone's trying to trade an All-Star for De'Aaron Fox.
The reason they fired, the Kings are probably going to use all the excuses that you just gave them, right? But the reason they really fired them is for optics to look like they're trying to do something, because that's what they do. It's easy to scapegoat the coach in the NBA. It's very easy, right? That's what they did. They shouldn't, in my opinion, they shouldn't have done it. Even if you let D Fox go, you try and
you don't let D Fox go though. You never do that. You never let an All-Star walk out the door for nothing.
Well, true. Even whether you let him go or trade him, whatever.
They do that now, though.
No, because cap space isn't what it used to be. Because guys are, first of all, the free agency class this year is buns. Yeah. So who are you even going to get? And then also you're Sacramento. No one's coming to sign a big deal with Sacramento.
Not at all. That's the thing. There's no, like, you can make a trade for him, but you're going to have to give up a lot. Like, I don't know. Maybe Timberwolves is a landing spot for De'Aaron Fox. Maybe.
If they have picks.
If they have picks. There's not a lot of teams that he's a good fit for right now.
That's not true. There are.
Who?
But I mean, he's an all-star point guard. Anyone who's
I know, but there are a lot.
Anyone who's weak at the point guard position could use him.
The top teams have their set point guard, so there's not a lot of good teams that could use him right now.
Well, not a lot of good teams are in the market to trade for an all-star, so that's
what I'm saying. So
that's sort of obvious, though.
No, so exactly, it's sort of so. There's not a lot of places he's going to be able to go. So I'm going to walk. Where are you going?
The Clippers.
I don't even know.
The Clippers would love. The Clippers. He's an expiring contract, and you have picks. You have plenty picks if you're the Clippers. Actually,
I don't know that the Clippers want to make that trade.
Whether they want to or not, you're just talking about fit. I think he would fit with the Clippers. You get a new all-star point guard to try to build around. It's like you said, the Timberwolves could use him if they had the picks. The Suns could use him if they want to unload one of their stars and get an all-star point guard to organize things around. If we go to the East, the Heat could use him. The Bulls could use him.
Not for Lonzo.
No, again, how the trade shakes out is different, but I'm just saying about teams he would fit on, right?
Yeah, but none of these are good. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of good.
Yeah, but they have picks.
Clippers
I'm just
are
talking
good.
about in terms of the trade working. Like these are teams that have picks that are looking to improve their scenario, right? Like
I'm talking about for him. Like, where do you go that you're gonna make an impact and be in a position to win? Like none of the teams you mentioned, anything changes if they have him.
Can I just say something quick though?
I don't know if that's true. I think the Heat. I think the Heat get incredibly better if they get De'Aaron Fox. If they're able to hold on to Hero and Bam, and they just do picks.
That's a
He's
good
not a
point.
pass first point guard, so I don't know that.
Actually, let's transition there because the Heat are currently in
They
the
are.
market.
Wait. I gotta say this quick about De'Aaron Fox.
Sure.
He said something.
That's what I was going to use to transition to the other topic, but this one is here. Which one you want to do?
Let's stay with this one. Let's stay with this one and then transition.
Yeah, because it sets up both. But since we just brought up like trades, I figured. So the Miami Heat are clearly in the market for a trade. I have a crazy conspiracy theory about how this all came out, and it actually relates to the De'Aaron Fox thing. So again, I'll say that for later. I'm going to tie both of these two things to the last topic. But nonetheless, it appears Jimmy Butler wants out. They've currently suspended him for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. And he basically asked out in the media, and the Heat said they're listening to offers. Thoughts about that, especially in the context of, like I said, I think if the Heat have picks and maybe they offload Jimmy, who's an aspiring contract, so you get some cap space back, you get some picks back, and the Heat have a lineup of Fox, Hero, Vasquez, I don't even know who they play at their 4, and Bam.
Joe, what's his name? Jovic.
Oh, Jovic.
Jovic and Bam. That's a good team in the East.
They play better without Jimmy so far. I think so.
But that's what I'm saying. They're sixth. They're sixth right now, right? They're sixth in the East right now at 17 and 15. You swap out Jimmy and picks for De'Aaron Fox. That team doesn't have the chance to become a top 4 seed.
No,
not this year. But
are you sure? They're tied right now with the Bucks.
What's
as it stands, they're tied with the Bucks and 2 games behind the Magic. You're telling me adding De'Aaron Fox?
Where the Magic right now?
They're fourth.
Are they still
they're
fourth?
They're fourth with 21 and 15.
They have a chance to get a top 4 seed.
That's what I'm saying. The Bucks and the Heat are right behind them at 17 and 15. They're 2 games back, and that's because they haven't played as many games, right? Because the Magic are 21 and 15. The Bucks and the Heat are 17 and 15. So you add De'Aaron Fox to the Heat. What does that look like?
I mean, the Magic are fighting to keep that seed. They got injuries.
Right, they're probably trending down.
No, they're actually not.
They just lost their 3rd star, bro.
They're staying afloat. This next man up over there.
That's not gonna happen. Come on. Now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stay at 4th. I'm just saying.
All right, well,
they still find a way to win games.
But regardless of how you feel at the Magic, you tell me D Fox on the Heat doesn't make a difference?
Oh yeah, of course
it does.
I don't know that it makes that much of a difference.
Nah,
2 games? 2 games?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't make a 2-game difference in the standings?
I don't know that it does.
You're wild.
You really don't. You don't rate D Fox.
No, I do. I'm just saying. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference, and I'm looking at those top 4 teams who are very, very specifically the top 3 are kind of untouchable to me right now.
Yeah, that's why I said they're not touching
and
the 3.
Top 4.
Can they go from 6 to 4? Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know that they, especially if they do a big trade. I don't know. Like,
how big is it if you just take out Jimmy Butler, who's disinterested and not involved, and you give picks and you get an all-star point guard?
Jimmy and DeMar is crazy though. And Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan on the same team is crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
For the Kings, though, it's just a breakdown. Jimmy Butler walks at the end of the year.
Nah, that's crazy.
Potentially, let him walk.
But he does have a player option. So
he's not opting in to stay in Sacramento.
No, he is if he has no other options. If no one else can sign him, he's not losing out $52 million.
He's gonna get signed.
To where though? There's not that many teams that can sign him.
That's a fact.
Jimmy
This
is
is the
gonna
thing.
be-
Under the second
Okay,
umbrella,
listen,
under these
he-
new NBA
No,
agreements,
he's just not
Wait,
gonna get a
wait,
max.
wait, wait.
It's just like Clay Thompson, bro.
That's
He's
what-
not gonna
I
get
was
a max.
gonna.
Jimmy
My next point was
Butler.
gonna be he's not gonna get signed for the amount that he wants, and which is his whole point of doing all this whole thing. So then,
But that's happening regardless. He's not going to get it. The best people
Yeah,
that
man.
would have given it to him are the team he's on right now, and they've said no. So he's not going to get it.
Jimmy for Kaminga.
but then I don't even know what teams could have signed him for a whole lot of money in the first place. Not even if he doesn't get the max.
Kaminga
I don't know
doesn't
how many
fit
teams are gonna sign
it
him
at
for.
all. Where does Kaminga fit in?
You said what?
Where does Kaminga fit in the Heat?
Kaminga. Who's
You
talking
said
about
think-
Kuminga.
I think they can use his slashing ability.
on the
Where
Heat?
though? Where? Look at that lineup. That's
Joe-
nasty.
Jovic?
Jovic to the bench.
Are we saying Jovic is better than Kaminga?
He's better
It's
for
not
his
about
pace.
better though. It's about fit. We're talking about fit. The way
I
they
think-
play, you want Kaminga in that spot instead of spacing.
I mean, that's fair, but Kaminga's younger. I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, we
And
could."
Jovic?
No, not younger than Jovic, but I'm just saying he's younger than Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't think the player to player, you're obviously getting an upgrade, but you gotta the Heat do things that make sense. We've never seen the Heat make a move that doesn't make sense because think about it, they've had the same coach for a decade. They had the same style, the same culture, and that's for a reason, right? So I just
15
don't
years,
see,
really, not even a decade.
yeah, I just don't see
Honestly.
how that fits in. I don't
On the
see a
Heat?
space for Kaminga.
If I'm the Heat, I'm not looking at anybody but the Hawks. Go get Trey Young. That's
You're wild.
No, but that's so that's my
It's not
point. So
bad.
if
That's
you're
not
looking
bad.
at
You're
a
not
Trey,
trading
if you're looking at a Trey Young, what's a better upgrade, Trey Young or De'Aaron Fox for the way
Trae
the
Young.
Heat play?
Trae
No,
Young.
but for the way the Heat play,
Trey Young.
Tomorrow's
I don't
better
think
than
so.
Trust me.
I don't think so.
Trey
I
Young
don't
averages
think so.
11 assists a game. They got
because he's ball dominant. That's not how the Heat play.
Yes, I know, but he can transition that into the Heat offense specifically for
No.
the staff that they have around. Imagine a pick and roll with him and Bam. Imagine him.
You're imagining this. The Heat are not one of these teams, bro, that are gonna get a player and change the entirety of what they do to that player. They've never done
They
it.
did it with Jimmy.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. The reason Jimmy because it made perfect sense. As soon as we saw that trade, we said, "Oh, that's genius." He fits in absolutely with their culture and their play style.
Trey Young's
Trey
defense.
Young does not. De'Aaron Fox does.
Trey Young's defense alone is not going to work for the Heat.
Yeah, no, they're not having it.
That's true. They're not going to have that.
They're not having that.
No.
I think De'Aaron Fox trade makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they have enough picks, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
Not for the Kings,
what
though.
you're saying. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense for what you're saying, but
It
I
doesn't.
don't
You
know.
get
Like
picks
if
back,
you're
bro.
Pat Riley, like is going from like six seed to potentially 4 seed at best. Is that worth getting into a long term contract with De'Aaron Fox if you're Pat Riley?
I mean,
the
that's
way you
just
can
this year. I
evaporate?
think you get a summer in and you get some more, role player free agents. Like if you can get off, I don't know what Terry Rozier's contract is, but if you can get off that and turn that into a bench wing, I think you're cooking with something there.
Terry Rozier,
Tyler Hero and De'Aaron Fox is a elite
And Bam
backcourt.
Adebayo with Bam Adebayo in your front court.
Just the backcourt alone. I don't believe in man. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's averaging
I don't even know if he's a power forward.
he's averaging 17, 10, and 5.
That's
And
great.
that's without a point guard.
That's great. Go be a power forward, man. Listen, all I do that from the 4 position. Listen, I believe
he's not a center.
I don't think he's a center. He got away with
the center in the modern NBA.
in the modern NBA. He's not a center. 5 years ago, he's a center.
What?
I don't think he's a modern NBA center. While there's a lot of teams now that have a bruiser that could match it.
Okay, so say they do that. Say they do that. So say it's De'Aaron Fox, Hero. You start Vazquez at the small forward. He gets another year of growth because he's having a sophomore slump this year. But you know how that works. His third year, he's gonna figure out new moves because he got scouted over the summer. So third year, let's say he comes back, he takes a step. You got Fox, Hero, Jacquez, Bam Adebayo, and you go and get a solid center. Say you go and lift Robert Williams from the Blazers.
No, that's tough. Now that is tough. If
That's a young, strong lineup right there. And you still got Duncan Robinson and Jovic coming off the bench. Say you get a couple other two-way guys.
they're back. The Heat are back.
No, they're
Do you
back.
see them? That works.
But that's a lot of change. They'd have to make a lot of moves.
The
That's not-
Kings
that's-
are not going
that's
to do
two
it.
moves.
though,
That's
man.
2 moves. You trade your picks and you go all in on D-Fox. You go and get Robert Williams for a vet min in the offseason.
Yeah, that's what he's
And you,
working.
and
on.
you hope
Trailblazers
that and you
trying to
hope
move
that
him like
Jamie
that?
takes a step.
You said what?
Are the Trailblazers even trying to move him like that? Actually, who cares what they're doing? They're gonna
Exactly. Exactly.
man.
He's on 2 years, so I don't know if they will move him.
They
But
probably
that's not bad move.
No,
It's not a
Rob
bad
would
move.
be good.
Regardless, though, it's not going to happen because the Kings are not. I'm telling you, man. Pharaoh, they're not.
What
doing
what
And
picks
it's-
do the Heat have? Let's see though.
it. You said
No,
what?
but they
The
have
Heat?
they have to move him, bro. They have like
Not
if he
not
was-
for the Heat though.
I think that's the best move. You get an expiring contract and picks.
I don't think they gave up. Like I don't think they gave up on the year.
It's not about the year though. It's long term. We've seen this time
But
and time again.
I
If
see what
you're
you
a young
I see what you
drafted
said, Pharaoh.
star,
But like
not
they
sign that extension, he's gone. You have
So
to move.
what you're saying is give up on the year for the future. I don't think they're giving up that much. I think the record is
So you
making.
think they move him in the summer?
You said what?
So you think they move him in the summer?
Yeah, I can see
And-
that. I can see
and-
that. I think they're still trying to win some games, and they got rid of Mike Brown because they scapegoated him. They thought he was a problem.
Maybe. I think they're going to tear it down, and maybe now we can. Well, first, what do you think about the Jimmy Butler Heat situation? And then I'll come back to why I think the Heat are trying to tear it down. Because I think why the Kings are trying to tear it down. Because I think the Heat are doing something similar, not tearing it down, but I think the Heat are manufacturing this Jimmy Butler departure, even though they've made it look like he's doing it. But what do you think about this situation?
I
I'm
mean,
so
he
curious.
kind of is doing it though. Remember when he was coming out with his hair being like different colors for the teams that was talking about him? Like they've been upset with him since last season.
Yes,
Mhm.
longer than that.
So, you know,
Right,
it-
they've been upset with him. So what does that mean? But now all of a sudden he wants to go.
I mean, look, he's starting to realize maybe I don't fit here. Maybe this isn't what I thought I wanted to be. And they're not necessary. Pat Riley is not up for antics, right? This is a winning culture. If you're coming here with jokes and you're doing all this stuff, whatever, we don't want you here. Like it was cool when they were winning and they were fighting off the Celtics and they were making it to the conference finals and the finals. That's fine. But it
So the
really
Heat-
did.
Sorry, the Heat have 1, 2, 3, 4. The Heat have a first round pick in 26, a second round pick in 26, a first round pick in 28, 29, 30, 31.
So you'd have the picks. You're right.
But his contract is extremely hard to trade, though.
Why? It's expiring. I know it's a player option, and no one wants the threat that he opts into it. But even if he opts into it, that still comes off in a year. You're talking about 1 year paying him $55 million, and then he's gone.
Because it's hard to trade because you have to get pretty much like the exact same number because I believe the Heat are in that first apron.
Sign and trade. Sign and trade.
But you can't sign and trade. You can sign and trade, but then that hard caps them even more. And they don't want to do that. So that's why it's been the contract is so difficult for them because a trade, like a bunch of things like you said, like the sign and trade, it triggers so many other stuff that it messes. It's just better for them to like keep them and let them walk. Damn near.
I mean, that's
You know
what the
what I mean?
Mavericks and Warriors did.
What?
They did a sign and trade.
Yeah, but they're both probably okay being hard cap. Riley's probably don't want to be hard cap. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that?
Well, the Mavs are okay being hard cap because they believe they have a championship roster. They just came off the finals. The
We
Heat,
just talked about if
probably
the Heat
wanna
locked
improve.
in, they got a really good team with the Darren Fox.
but do they
That's
have a
not worth
championship
it.
roster?
So-
Do they
so
have
you
a
think
championship
that-
roster?
that
Right,
lineup-
yeah.
That lineup isn't worth hard capping. You think?
I don't think so.
It's not about what we think. It's
So
about
y'all
what they think.
Not to be-
y'all really don't. Well, I'm asking you guys. I'm not asking
Not to
whether
be-
you think this is going to
I
happen.
don't. I don't think it's worth it.
Works.
I don't think it's worth it to be four seed at best. I don't think it's. And if they get one injury away, it's even worse than the 4 seed. So I don't.
Right.
Think
Also, Jimmy Butler has a $7 million trade exception.
What does that mean though?
So what? He goes down to 48 million if he gets traded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
that doesn't move
still a
the
hard
needle
cap.
for a lot of teams. It's still a hard cap. Like
It makes it a smaller sign and trade, so you're not, you can give
it's not like it's a $20 million.
well, no
trade
one has a
exception.
20 million. That doesn't exist. A
No,
$20
I
million
know it
trade.
doesn't make sense, but I'm saying like $7 million isn't going to move that much on these teams. Like it's the thing is it's so minute because you're right. It is 1 year. The thing is it is 1 year, but
Also, Terry Rozier's $23 million contract comes off the books at the end of next year as well.
It does. That's why it's better for them to just let Jimmy walk in there.
that's what I'm saying. They're going to let him walk. This is Pat Riley. He doesn't care.
It ain't a tough situation. If I'm Pat Riley, I don't know what I'm doing because Jimmy doing all this. He's not doing all this, but you kind of want him away from the team because he's kind of
he's hurting the team.
Huh?
And he's hurting the team.
Yeah.
Low key. And but at the same time, you got all these other considerations you gotta do. If they do a trade, it's gonna be a really complex, complicated, at least 3-team trade. Because I was actually trying to figure out what other team they could.
We've never done before. Let's do the trade machine.
Yeah, it's tough. I was doing that last night. Actually, I can't.
With this exact one.
With Jimmy Butler. What exactly are you talking about?
The Kings.
I didn't do that exact one. I was trying to look for teams.
All right, so we put Jimmy Butler in.
Yeah.
What about the Spurs? I think he'd fit all in the Spurs.
Ew.
For Harrison Barnes.
I could see the Spurs taking him. I'll say that.
I don't know if
they like his play style. They've historically liked his play style.
How do I add picks to this? The Kings have a trade. The Kings have a trade exception as well.
What site are you on?
ESPN Trade Machine.
See, all right. So, as far as while you figure out the trades, I think.
So this trade financially. This trade isn't a problem for the Heat. It's a problem for the Kings.
What? Just trading straight up De'Aaron Fox for.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Why is it a problem?
The Kings go over the luxury tax threshold.
They're not paying for
the incoming salary exceeds what they are allowed to do. So let's see if we give them another player. So how much over are they? They're over by about 10 million. So who else can they send over?
Malik Monk, who they're not going
to make that work. No, hold on. Trey Lyles makes $8 million. Is he having a good year?
He's a floor spacer.
But is he having a good year? Is he a young player you want to invest in?
No.
He's averaging 7 points. How old is he? 29?
He's not young.
Let's say you throw him in there, but he's a floor spacer, which is good for the Heat, right? And he's a tall guy. Let's say you throw Trey Lyles in there. And they got to get rid of a little bit more. Alex Len is your only center, so you're not going to give him up. Let's say you throw Jordan McLaughlin in there as well. That's probably too many players for the Heat's roster. Let's see. Who can you slide and still make the salaries work? Let's say you send Alex Burks over, and he has a trade exception. That trade is successful.
With all the players, 4 players for Jimmy?
No, you send D Fox, Trey Lyles, and Jordan McLaughlin to the Heat. Trey Lyles and Jordan McLaughlin are 1-year contracts, so they're coming off the books this year regardless. And you get De'Aaron Fox, who still has 2 years on his deal, so you don't have to sign to an extension yet. And then you send Jimmy Butler and Alec Burks to the Kings. Alec Burks' contract is coming off, and Jimmy Butler has his player option.
Cool, but again, why would the Kings do this?
I don't think they're giving up on the year, man. I don't think they're giving up on the year.
No, but you're talking about the year. All right, so then you end up like who didn't trade their young superstar in time and they just walked away from them. I don't think anyone's done it because no team is that stupid.
Okay, De'Aaron Fox got his big contract already, right? His first
No, he got his rookie extension, not his real.
He didn't get his big one yet.
He might stay for the money.
He's on 30. He's on 34 million right now. He didn't get his big one. He got his rookie extension. Again, this is the typical all-star draft situation. You get 7 years, right? You get your first 3 years, and then you get your rookie extension, which is your first big contract, but it's not your max yet. After 7 years, you can sign your super max with the team that drafted you, or you walk and you can still sign a max, but you're giving up like $5 to $7 million or some shit like that.
He might stay for the money.
Absolutely not.
I could see De'Aaron Fox stay for the money.
Absolutely not.
I think he will. I'm not.
You know how much more money? Because think about this. He just got a signature shoe under the
Yeah.
Curry line,
True.
right? He's an Under Armour signature brand athlete. If you go to a bigger market, you're making up that $5 to $7 million difference, probably 3x on your
You gotta go to a good
on your
team.
shoe brand deal.
I mean, you got to go to a good team. If you go to a team and you
Miami is a market, bro.
they're not doing it to get Jimmy Butler. No, I'm sorry, I don't see it happening.
It's
I don't
not
think
to get Jimmy Butler. It's to offload. It's to offload.
that's giving up.
Yeah, it's rebuild time. It's
They're
over.
not- no,
this iteration
I don't
of
think
the
they're
Kings
thinking
is
like
not
that.
going to
I
work.
really don't.
This iteration, you know why this iteration is not going to work? Because De'Aaron is not, if he's not signing, so it's over. You have it in your mind that they can somehow end this season play well enough to convince De'Aaron Fox to stay, and I
Look.
don't think they can.
Okay, all right. Why are they bad? We got to talk about this at a certain point. Like on the court, what is going on? Why
We
are
don't
they
know.
bad? Because
That's
last year
They're
they
going
were
to.
decent. The year before that, they had a similar record and were high in the rank in the standings.
Here's the thing. It's not that necessarily they're bad. It's that teams that we thought were bad last year are no longer bad.
No,
The
no, no,
Rockets, the Spurs, the Grizzlies, a lot of teams have come up.
Yeah, they're just not better than these other teams.
No way. I'm not hearing that's the difference between
That's a
46 and
gigantic
36.
difference.
I'll tell you. No,
and-
Last year,
Alan,
last
yo,
year I was
wait,
saying a lot. Last year I
Andre,
was
Andre,
saying
let me back you up. We can do it right now. First and foremost, a spot in the top 6 is lost because the Grizzlies are back.
Yes.
Ja is back. He had a full summer healthy. Ja is back. Let's not act like the Memphis Grizzlies weren't running this conference as the young upcoming team before he had his issues and then got hurt. So
Yeah.
that's one spot that you've lost, right? And you were already 6th last year with a good record, right? We agreed that last year their record was pretty good. It was only 2 wins less, and they were only able to get up to 6 because that's how tough the West was, right? So you're already a 6th seed based on how tough the West was. Memphis is back. They're the 2nd seed right now. So now you're bumped down to 7, right? The Lakers are improved this year. Now you're bumped down to 8. The Rockets are a really good team this year. Now you're bumped down to 9. The Clippers, the Mavericks, good. They got better than they were last year. Now you're bumped down to 10. Spurs and the Clippers have veterans joining some young talent. That's how you get to 12. And you still have the Phoenix Suns and Minnesota Timberwolves in front of you.
But
They're not better than any of these teams in front of them.
They're not even competing though. They're 16 and 19. That's crazy.
No, that's not competing. That's not good. The Jazz are not competing. 7 and 25. The Pelicans are not competing. 6 and 29. 16 and 19 in the West just means you're just not good enough.
That team is not supposed to be 16 and 19. Something is going on that team
Who
that we don't know. And they're
team are they
blaming
supposed to have
Mike
more
Brown.
wins?
That's why they got rid of him. They're trying
bro,
to change the
stop
season around.
Stop
That's what
talking
they're
in the
trying
ether,
to
bro.
do.
Talk in the specific. Who should they have more wins than? The
It's not about
Timberwolves?
having.
No, but it is because for them to win more games, another team has to lose more. There's not this fantasy where everyone gets to win 30 games out of 30, right? If one team in the West is winning games, then a direct other team in the West is losing games. That's how it works. So if you're saying the Kings should have more than 16 wins, which of the 11 teams in front of them do you think should not have the wins that they have?
Okay, think about it like this, right?
The Clippers low
If-
key.
No.
Wait.
Answer the question, Paul.
Hold
Don't
on.
reframe it. Answer the question.
But that question is crazy because you're looking at it too. You're looking at it too refined. Because think about it
No,
like
but
this.
that's how it works.
Look, if they have 5 more wins, right? They could have one. If one of those wins was to like each of those 5 teams, those teams are not significantly worse, but the Kings are significantly better. Look,
Paul,
think about what I'm saying. Let me talk.
I am.
No,
Hold
that's
on.
true.
Hold on.
That's
No,
true.
Paul. You don't have to over-explain. I understand exactly what you're saying. But for that to happen, taking East Coast wins out of it, right?
Not even just East Coast.
Hold on. Some assortment of those wins, because we're talking about in conference, and you play all your in conference teams more than the East Coast teams. You play the East Coast teams twice, you play Western Conference teams 3 times, and you play the people in your actual division 4 times, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 3 out of those 5 more wins that you want have to be against West Coast teams. Let's say out of their 16 wins, they've already are beating Portland, Utah, and New Orleans, the teams that suck, right? Of the 11 teams in front of them, which of those 3 are they supposed to get those wins on?
They're supposed to be competitive.
No, bro, I'm moving away from you because you don't want to really talk.
But this is a bad question, Pharaoh. You gotta let me talk, man. You gotta let me
No,
talk.
it's too many. It's too many.
Let me tell you
It's
why.
too many
Hold on.
qualifiers. It's too many qualifiers to your question.
What are you talking? This is how it works. You have to beat
Pharaoh. Let me talk, man. Let me talk because you're wilding. Hold on.
What?
Let's say they get one more win against the Mavericks, right? Wait. You gotta let me finish, man. Let's say they get one more win against the Mavericks. Good teams. I'm talking about good teams. One more win against the Mavericks, right? That team, the Mavericks are not significantly worse and are not that much lower in the conference, if any at all. Let's say they get one win against the Warriors, right? Let's say they get one win against the Lakers. Let's say they get one win against.
Oh,
the
you know why you're wrong.
Let's say they get one. Hold on. Let's say they get one win against. Hold on. You gotta let me finish, right? If they get one win against each of those teams, right? Those teams are not significantly worse, but
yes, they are. That's what I'm trying to tell you because you're not.
I need you to Kings are significantly better. Because that 5-win swing, that's 16 and 19, turning into 21 and 4. You're not letting me finish. Turning into 21 and 14.
I can't let you get all the way down the
now
rabbit
they're
hole.
in the mix. They're supposed to
your
be in
premise
the mix.
is wrong because you know why.
I don't know if that's true.
Hold on. The one statement you have, your premise is wrong. Is you're saying these 1 wins against these teams don't make a drastic difference in how well these teams are doing. That's not true. Look at the West standings. 4 through 10 are separated by 2 games. So if you're talking about 1 or 2 wins against these teams, that will completely reshape the entire standings. And that's my point. They're not better than these teams. They're not beating these teams. And that's why they are 4 games back of these teams. These are the teams they're losing against. The Kings just lost to the Lakers 3 times in a row over the past 2 weeks. That directly correlates.
They're not supposed to be that bad.
But listen. That directly correlates to the Lakers being 4th and them being 12th. Losing 3 times, because not only are they conference, the Kings and Lakers are in the same division. So they've lost 3 out of the 4 games they're going to play against the Lakers this year. And the Lakers are in 4th, and the Kings are 4 games behind them. That's literally the math.
Listen,
you understand? That's literally the math.
Listen, against the Lakers, how about if we do 1 game against each of those teams that I'm looking at the settings right now, right?
So you're talking about a full revision.
That's my point. He's saying that 1 extra win against each of these teams does not drastically change how all these teams are doing.
It really doesn't.
It does. The separation between all these teams is 1 game to 2 games.
Hold on. All right, I'm looking at the settings right now, right? The Lakers are 4th with 20 and 14. The Nuggets are
games back, bro, because the record isn't helpful in this respect because the teams haven't all played the same amount of games as of today. That's very clear. So you have to look at games behind. Look at games behind because that's how the standings that's how the standings are done. The standings are done by games
because the games they don't have the same amount of wins. Games played anyway, so that doesn't matter.
No, right? But the games behind doesn't go. The games behind doesn't go off games played. The games behind goes off percentages.
But it gets affected by games played.
No, No, listen. The standing numbers that you see are the totality of the games played, right? But the standings themselves, in terms of order, go off percentage of wins. How many of your games are you winning? So we can't look at a team that has 20 wins and go against the team that has 16 wins and think that 4-number difference is the reason why it's percentages. The Kings are winning less of their games than everyone in front of them. We can't just go off of the number because you're going to add a number to them, but that eliminates the difference in the number of games playing. We have to do it percentages. That's when you look at games behind.
Hold on, you're
So
choosing
if you look
to
at
look
games
at the
behind,
percentages as
look
if
at games
it's
behind.
gospel and it's not, because that everything we're talking about is affected by games played. Because when a game is played, there's a win or a loss. There's no ties in the NBA.
All right, hold on.
Right? Hold on. Let me talk, Andre. Hold on. So,
you're kinda
like
going
I'm
on
this
saying,
whole time, bro, and you're not telling me how the math makes sense to your point, bro.
because you cut me off how many times, man? Come on, hold on, real quick. I'm looking at the standings right now, right? There are teams that are 20 wins that are 4th seed and 6th seed. There's a team that's 5th seed that got 19 wins. The Kings have 16, right? The Kings have 16.
And why are they behind them?
You see, you're cutting me off again. I understand what you're saying about the percentages and the amount of games that you are playing, the amount of wins that you're getting out of the games that you're playing. However, because the season isn't over, right? I'm trying to tell you, just looking at the standings is proving my point more, because they have 16 wins and they're 12th seed. The Mavericks have 20 wins and they're 6th seed, right? They're not thinking about giving up like how you want them to. Why would I? Why, if I'm the Kings GM, why would I think about giving up when I could catch 6th seed although I'm the 12th seed?
Here's the thing.
I can do it. It's literally mathematically possible.
Again, you're just getting back to. I just want to say you're getting back to your point about their mentality, and that's never what I'm talking. You're saying if they get 1 or 2 more wins, the whole reason we got into this argument is because you said they're not that bad.
No,
right?
I said they shouldn't be this bad.
But they should, because my response to that was, who are they better than for them to not be this bad? And you've never answered that question. Again, you refuse to answer that question. They're not better than the Suns.
They're supposed to be better than the Suns. They're supposed to be better than the Timberwolves. They're supposed to be better than the Warriors. They're supposed to be better than the Spurs. They're supposed to be in the mix with the Clippers and the Mavericks, and the Nuggets should be this bad either.
Forget supposed to. Look at the teams as they're presently constructed, right? We know for a fact they're not touching the first 4. Okay. After that, they aren't better. They're not better constructed than the Nuggets, so you can get that out of here. They're not better constructed.
Wait, hold on. The Lakers only got 20 wins, and they're the 4th seed.
Who? The Lakers?
Yes.
Yes, but how many losses do they have? They only have 14 losses.
And the
they
Kings
have LeBron James
and
Anthony Davis. They're not better constructed.
And see, you're doing it again. You're doing math of number of wins, bro, and that's what's driving a hole in my brain. I don't understand. The Lakers are winning almost 60% of their games.
So that can't change, Pharaoh?
I'm not saying it can't.
No, I'm asking Pharaoh. That can't change?
That's not what we're talking about. Are the Kings better than the Lakers? That's the question. The answer is
right
no.
Now, no. Can that change? Yes or no?
Okay,
because you're talking about trading. You're talking about trading your key piece, your best player. We gotta talk about that. We can't ignore that.
What can they do to be better?
That's why I asked the question.
No, like, exactly.
I want to dismiss the Kings,
but so I'm gonna ask Andre. Do you think there's anything on this roster that tells you the Kings can get better than they are right now? No, that's the point.
The only thing they can do is try to improve the bench. I don't even know who you improve it with.
It's not a good roster.
What's the problem with the Kings? Because
it's not a good roster.
They don't have enough. Here's the thing.
I think that's a cop-out because we don't watch the Kings. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, it's not. It's not a cop-out.
In the last 2 weeks, what do you mean we don't watch?
No. To Paul's point, they have, like, part of those losses are teams that they shouldn't have lost to. To Paul's point.
Okay, but if you are doing that all year, bro, we have to stop this. Shouldn't have.
You
are what you are, bro. It's not early. It's almost half of the season. They're not good. They're not underachieving. They're not good.
Yes, they are underachieving. Yes, they are.
Based on what?
Based on what they were last year. They're not supposed to have 19 losses already.
Based on what they were last year. Are they not a different roster than they had last year?
They added DeMar DeRozan. They didn't lose
much.
So you're saying that because they added a big piece to their roster, that it's
the exact same thing is happening with the Timberwolves.
So like I said earlier, they need time to get it together. And you want to give up on them because you think it's not early, but it's not. It is.
Alan, so let me ask you a very specific question, Alan.
Wait,
You
hold
think
on.
at-
Go
at
back for
almost
1
40
second. 'cause
No, because I don't want to keep going in a circle because this is a new point we can move on from. Alan, at 40 games, how many teams do you think are actually in the position to drastically change their lot in the season? 40 games in, damn near.
Drastically, no teams unless you're in a position to make a big trade. But
Exactly.
That's the big question. Do they need to make a drastic change to improve, or do they just need to
Right
play
now,
better?
they're out of the play-in.
They got 16 wins. The Lakers got
Yeah, but you
4.
can play back into playing.
Thanks,
Okay,
you can
what does
play
that
back
do
into
for you?
5th seed. They can get 5th seed, Alan.
No, they can't.
Why not?
No, they can't. They're 4 games out. They're not covering
games left in the season. Like, what are we talking about?
But in a race this tight, bro, I don't see them going on a run.
You don't see them.
To make up a 4-game difference, you have to probably win. You have to go on a 6-win streak. And I'm saying, who are they beating? 6 straight games playing in the Western Conference. Because again, out of 6 games, 4 of those teams are going to be Western Conference teams, right? So unless they get to play the Utah Jazz 3 of those games, who are they beating? Who are they beating?
The Warriors twice.
I don't think the Kings get a win against them.
You think they're better than the Warriors?
They literally have one more win than the Warriors. The Warriors are sliding. The Warriors are sliding. The Warriors are going in the wrong direction.
If they play today, who do you think's winning that game?
I don't know because the Warriors are going in the wrong direction.
So if you don't know,
they're losing games.
They just won a game. What are you talking about?
I don't see the Kings beating the Warriors they play today.
They're 17 and 16.
That's what I'm
16
going to
and
stand
19.
on. That's what I'm standing on. I don't see them beating these teams.
Find out tomorrow. They play tomorrow, I think.
Well, we'll find out.
We're going to see.
They have enough.
We're going to see.
They have enough to be competitive with a lot of those teams in the West, man. Nobody's
They
standing
do
out
not.
except for the Thunder and the Grizzlies and the
They
Rockets.
don't have enough to go against
The Lakers aren't even standing out to me.
They don't have enough to go against the Denver Nuggets. They don't have enough to. They damn sure don't have enough to go against the Lakers right now. Even though I called the Lakers trash, they don't have enough to go against the Mavericks. So maybe you can say the Clippers, but also not really.
Spurs, Warriors.
They don't have enough to go against the Spurs. They do not. They do not. Who's guarding Wemby? They have no one to like that man.
The Spurs played the game of their life against the Knicks on Christmas. They weren't like that. They're not like that. They're not that nice.
He just had almost a triple-double against Jokic last night. I'm not hearing this. And they won.
Like that, though. Yeah, he's like that, but the team is not like that.
Because of him, they're like that. And Chris Paul, they're like that.
They're literally not. Look at the record. Look at how they play.
The
look at who they play. Look at how they. I watch Spurs games sometimes. They're not that nice. Those other players don't play that well, like how they played in Madison Square Garden. I'm telling you.
I want to go through their. This is the last thing we're going to do on this. Hold on. This is the last thing we're doing this. I want to go through the teams they've lost to, right?
Okay.
Starting in the beginning of the season, right?
But Paul has a point. They did lose to some crap teams. They've lost to Utah.
Hold on. Look, let's see.
No offense, Alan.
Hold on, because you're just speeding through it. Let's see. Minnesota, a team that's better than them. Los Angeles, a team that's better than them. Toronto, that's a toss-up.
No, it's not. Oh my God.
That's not toss. They shouldn't have lost.
He thinks they're whack. Let's get to the bottom. He just thinks they've been whack.
I've been saying that. I don't know.
You think they should have ever been nice.
I don't know how any more ways I have to say it.
Come on.
Okay, that's one bad loss. So, all right, I'll give you that. One bad loss, right? So, out of their first 3 losses, one of them was bad. Clippers, makes sense. San Antonio, as we've said before, makes sense. Minnesota, again, makes sense. Atlanta, you would keep telling me they're a good team. Clippers, again, makes sense. Brooklyn, bad loss. So 2 bad losses out of their first 8.
Okay.
Oklahoma City makes sense. Portland, 3 bad losses out of their first 9. San Antonio makes sense. Memphis makes sense. Denver makes sense. LA 3 times makes sense. Indiana makes sense. Detroit,
Indiana doesn't make sense.
Right? So out of 19 losses, you can argue maybe 4 of them are bad.
Does that not drastically change their record right now?
Yeah, to Paul's point, that would change the record. They would be really good if they had 4 more wins. So I see what Paul's saying.
Most of them are against Eastern Conference teams. They shouldn't
Who
have
cares?
lost.
Get the wins.
Go
up in the standing.
It does matter though.
Why?
Because they're not beating anyone in their conference.
Okay. But you're
They,
not playing.
they got a win against Houston, a nail biter, good win. They beat Dallas on Monday, solid win. They beat Memphis on Friday, solid win.
These are good teams. Listen, the Kings should not be this bad, man. And they scapegoat to Mike Brown. They are not giving up. They want to keep De'Aaron
Whose
Fox.
fault is it then? If you think the roster is so good, then it has to be Mike Brown's fault.
That's not true. Chemistry is a thing, right? I think DeMar DeRozan is not a player you bring in. I think DeMar DeRozan, honestly, right now needs to be a 6-man. I'm not gonna hold you. He's more talented than the 6-man, but so was Westbrook when he became a 6-man.
Low key, Mike Brown wanted him to come off the bench. So the next thing you know, Mike Brown's
Oh
fired.
yeah, that's news he was going to say, right?
DeMar DeRozan, the coach killer?
Not even that. Not even that.
True.
To transition, they're moving very similar to what the Heat, I believe, did with Jimmy Butler. So they do Mike Brown dirty in the fashion in which they fire him, and to date, no one from the Kings front office has had a press media availability to explain why they fired Mike Brown. Guess who then has to answer those questions?
The players.
De'Aaron Fox. Guess who had no remorse and no feelings whatsoever about the fact that Mike Brown got fired?
De'Aaron Fox. That was crazy. I should play the clip.
So what is that now set up? Because De'Aaron Fox came out early in the year and said, I'm not signing the extension until something good happens. Now we fire the coach and we don't say a word about it. And De'Aaron Fox goes out there and makes it look like he's happy about it.
He said, "Hey, he still got a guaranteed contract." So that was so crazy.
Do you see what I'm saying? How they're manufacturing it? Do you see how they're manufacturing it? So that's what I'm saying. They're manufacturing this to make it look like we did all we could do for you, De'Aaron. We fired the coach for you. We signed DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. What more do you want from us? If you're not ready to sign the extension, I bet we're trading you, bro.
I don't hear that. I don't see that. I don't hear that.
We can leave it at that. We can leave it at that because the same thing is happening with Miami Heat. The Miami Heat leaked the story to Shams. And it wasn't true. Did y'all see the whole Shams and Jimmy's agent back and forth? Yeah. Shams put out a report that Jimmy Butler wanted to be traded, and Jimmy Butler's agent came out and vehemently said it's not true. Liar. Right? No, I believe him.
Really?
I think that Jimmy Butler has said from the beginning he wanted to stay with Miami. He just wants his money, right? He wants his money.
Yeah.
Once Miami said they weren't going to pay him his money, I think he was ready to try to get his money back, right? I think the Miami Heat knew we are not about to pay him that money under any circumstances. So if he's not going to come off, we're going to have to move him. So they plant a story with Shams. Why else do you think Shams would stand so 10-toe? When the agent of the player comes out publicly and says he doesn't want to be traded, what's the only other source you could have that would make you stand 10 toes on he does?
Pat Riley.
There's only one other place where you would be able to. Yes, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. I can name you so many examples. But there's only here's the thing, right? If you don't get it from the agent, because if it was the agent and then he came out and lied, if I was Shams, I would stand on that. I would say, you told me yourself. Right? So
that's kind of unprofessional though.
No, it's not, bro, because you came at me personally and said my name and called me a liar.
I don't think
I'm gonna let you do that when you're the one that told me the story.
Yeah, because the truth is gonna come out eventually. The truth is gonna come out eventually.
Are you crazy?
I don't know. We would have to talk about. We would have to talk to like journalists about that because I believe there's some what do you call it, like ethics thing there about there's like an ethics thing about your sources and stuff.
Journalistic integrity. That's what it's called.
No, but that goes out the window once you speak.
Once
you speak and you enter the public forum, my duty to protect any confidential private conversations is out the window because you've now publicly spoken about the matter. And you're addressing me publicly and calling me a liar. I have to go on ESPN and have a whole segment to back up my reporting, and you come at my journalistic license?
You know what I see Stephen A say? I've seen Stephen A in situations like that. He'll say, no, it is true, and he'll stand on it, but he won't go the extra mile and say, like, you're a liar. You told me. Like he'll say
Because
the
no,
truth will come out.
because I think they have another source. You're not gonna sit there and have your exact source lie in the media, and then you be like, no, I know it's true. That doesn't make any sense. The only way you would go against someone saying this person is not true is if you believe in your source. And that's why I'm saying the only other source, unless you have like a friend of Jimmy, or you
I was
spoke
gonna
to
say
Jimmy,
Jimmy
or,
himself.
Cousin
or
or
you
her brother.
or you spoke to Jimmy himself, the only
Yeah,
other credible source that would make you on national television stand on your report about whether a player wants to be traded is the front office. Because then
Well,
I don't care what the agent says. You're lying about what you told the front office.
Well, we're
or
actually
what
forgetting
Jimmy told the front office.
for Jimmy. We're forgetting one other person that could have leaked that story. Rachel
That's
Nichols.
just
I knew you were gonna
crazy.
say that.
Oh,
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Come on, man.
I knew you were gonna
That's
say
the word.
that.
But let me just finish my theory so we can wrap up. I believe the front office planted the story, which is a known thing. You can read about it in so many books of former GMs and coaches and players.
yeah, they be
I
doing
believe
that.
I believe the
Yeah.
Heat planted the story that Jimmy wanted to be traded with Shams. And the reason the agent was so vehement is because he knew what it was. He was like, yo, they're trying to manufacture public narrative that he wants to be traded. So when they trade him, it looks like something he wanted. Once that happened, they also started moving funny with him. So you're not gonna pay me. You're moving funny. You're moving
NBPA
funny.
evidence
Yeah,
of-
you're moving funny with me on the team. So now you know what? I do want to be traded. Then he comes out, takes the bait, and basically asks to be publicly traded on the press conference. They don't waste a day. The next day, they suspend him for 7 games, and they put out a statement that says, apparently he doesn't want to be here, so we're happy to oblige him. We're listening to offers. Horseshit.
So now,
Are you kidding me?
let me ask you a question. Do you believe that he was wearing them different hair colors for the teams that he?
No.
Well, you don't believe that?
I believe that even if I believe it, I believe that's a negotiating tactic because he wants to be there and he wants his money.
Doesn't that ruin what your speculation is about what's really going on?
No, because again, remember my point. I'm saying even if he's doing that, it's not because he actually wants to be traded. It's a negotiating tactic to get his money. He's saying, hey, this team might trade for me. Hey, this team might trade for me. If you don't pay me, I could just get traded. I could walk out. And their response to that was, oh, okay. So you want to be traded then? Let's plan a story with Shams. He wants to be traded. Now the public narrative is that he wants to be traded, and now you take the bait because they're moving funny on you. And
I don't
clearly
blame
not
them.
pay.
If he was really wearing them hair colors for the teams that he wants to get traded to, or that would want to trade for him, that might want to trade for him, at that point you're pushing the franchise and you're
pushing them to pay me my money.
Yeah, but they standing 10 toes down on that, and if they're not gonna do it,
I agree, but that's my point. The movement of him being traded is coming from them. They don't want to pay him, so they're going to move him. I think if you ask Jimmy what he would want, first and foremost, it would be to stay in Miami and get his money. They have successfully framed the public narrative to make it look like he wanted out. He is a diva, which is why it worked so easily. Which is why it worked. Which is why it worked so easily.
Got him.
He literally walked right into it. No, but the same thing with D Wade. D Wade didn't want to go nowhere. He wanted his money.
Yeah.
And they somehow framed it like they did it. They did him a good favor. We're gonna let him go. We're in a rebuild, so we don't want to hold him hostage. We're gonna let him go and try to chase championships in Cleveland. That's not what he wanted to do. That's not what he wanted to do at all.
He wanted to be a one-team player, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen this before. That's the comparison I want to make between these two. We're watching front offices manufacture public narrative around players so that when they make ultimate moves, they get to look like they're doing the nice thing.
Now, I say this. They
did the same thing with Russ. It just Russ was a happy participant. We're gonna let Russ go because we're gonna enter a rebuild. He's politely asked us for a trade, and we said that is okay. You went to him and said, "Hey, can we please trade you?"
See, here's the thing.
Let's be real, bro. Let's be real
Okay.
about.
I'm not okay. No, but you're saying it's real.
Why is Cap Russell would have probably stayed in OK City for the rest of the
100%, 100%.
and didn't want to
I
leave.
think he wanted
You
a
could
chip.
see the
If he
twinkle in
wanted
his
to
eye
go
every
to
time he goes home.
Washington,
Not Washington, but he wanted a chip. He wanted to go to the Rockets
No, he wanted to play with James Harden. That's why twice he's getting the
because he
opportunity.
believed he could win a chip with James Harden. That's why.
No,
But
he cares more about friendship, bro.
so he doesn't care about winning. What are you trying to say?
He's about to win the Nuggets.
But all I'm saying though is like I don't really disagree with anything Farrell was saying, but I think there's another side to this story that could be true too. That what if the agent told Shams, right? And the agent didn't want Shams to leak it right away, but he did. And then the agent came around and said, "Oh, whoa!
you don't
I
tell
lied
Shams the
because
story if you
lying
don't
is a
know
part
who's
of
reporting.
lying is a part of the game. Unfortunately,
Yes,
all
but
these
you
parties are lying.
You don't
we don't
tell
know. I don't know
Shams
what's
the
going on.
story and expect it not to be posted. This is Shams we're talking
Right
about.
away.
This is Shams we're talking about. These
Right
guys
away?
are not dumb. This agent is not new on the block.
So you think
You know if you tell Shams a story, it's going up. Like,
Oh, so you think there's things he knows that he doesn't say? Or that you think he says everything he knows then? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I think he knows a lot. I think Stephen A. Same thing. Woj was the same. They know a lot, but there's politics.
I think the ethics that you guys talked about in terms of when you were saying he would lie for the agent when the agent is publicly saying a lie, I think the ethics are I don't think he says anything that he's not allowed to say. To your point. So again, when you're saying, "Oh, he wasn't supposed to say it that early," that would be the ethics violation for me. I don't think Shams says anything that he's not empowered to say, which is why I don't think the agent told him that. I don't think the agent would tell him that, empower him to say it, and then come out and act like it's not true when you were the one that said it. He has another source. The agent is saying it's not true, and he thinks that Shams is making it up, but that's because he doesn't know that the organization planted the story.
It's possible.
Most of the sources these bombshell reporters have are in the front offices.
Yeah, it's always the people who work for the organization.
It's the people that work for the organizations. That's who their sources are.
And like I pretty much agree with like everything that you said before. Farrah. Only thing is, it may not have been like a plant, like what you're saying. It could have been like Jimmy Butler telling them like, give him the money or give me your trade. That's one of the other two, and someone from the office leaked that, which then
but that's the dupe, right? Because again, my whole argument is the framing. If Jimmy Butler is saying, "I want to be here and I want my money,"
okay, good point.
Yeah, right. But if you don't give it to me, I could request a trade, and then the front office leaks to Sham, Jimmy wants to be traded. That's what would get the agent hot, right? Like that's not true. That's not what we said. That's not how that meeting went at all. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see, there's another.
Now is that bad to y'all though? Because if I'm Jimmy Butler, if Jimmy Butler, like you said, might have been doing all these tactics like the hair colors and all that stuff.
Right.
Is the team doing that? Is that
I don't know.
I think it's dirty from the standpoint that I think a guy gets you 2 finals trip. You should have a more open and productive conversation about how to re-sign him.
That's where I was going.
Turn into a game of chicken with a guy that's done that much for you.
See, now here's the thing. This is the sad part. That's exactly what I was thinking. This is so sad because Jimmy Butler was known as somebody who was nice but didn't have a home. And the way they're treating Jimmy Butler right now, the way this breakup is looking, is almost like the Heat are trying to ruin his legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like his whole he's known as a winner. He's known as a winning player. And the way Pat Riley talks about him in the offseason, the way all these little gimmicks that he's done, I don't know how big that was, how impactful that was on the team. But Pat Riley didn't like it. The way they're allegedly planting stories like Pharaoh's, that might be true. it looks as if they don't value him and that he's not really valuing winning. So therefore, we're just gonna put out, just throw him out here and ruin his legacy by saying what we believe has been the truth about what he's been all along. This makes what he did with the Minnesota Timberwolves look crazy. This makes Cat and Andrew Wiggins, not for real. Think about it. This makes Cat and Andrew Wiggins
the other thing, bro. We've seen what it looks like when Jimmy really wants to get traded.
When he crash out,
we know what that looks like for real. You can't fool us. We know exactly how Jimmy looks when he wants to actively get traded, bro. It don't look like this, bro. It don't look like this at all, bro.
It makes him look like he wasn't a leader that was trying to check his teammates and get them to play harder. He looks like just a diva that was, doing diva tactics because he wasn't getting his way on the team. And now it looks like he's doing the same thing, but that's what the Heat are putting out there. So I don't know what's really going on,
especially when Cat's looking like that guy on the Knicks.
Right.
This is a bad time. This is a bad time, and you know what? I think
don't do that. Don't do that because a lot of that comes from Cat being around the right personalities. Cat played well with him. The biggest issue that Jimmy had wasn't honestly with Cat; it was with Wiggs.
That's not true.
And Cat.
That's not true.
It was the two of them, but the soft one on the team was Wiggs.
Cat?
No, he called Cat soft. What's his name? Oh my God, we love him.
But he was pushing Cat because you know who I immediately counteract that with? Joel Embiid.
This comment is hate.
Who swears by Jimmy to this day.
Uh-huh.
To this day, Joel Embiid says Jimmy Butler is the best teammate he's ever had.
Yeah, but he's the only one. He's the only one. And Joel looked like a diva himself too.
That's not true. That's not true.
Who else? Maybe
all his Bulls teammates.
That's a different Jimmy though.
Whatever. All his Heat teammates.
It might be Heat teammates too. Actually, I'll take it back.
Yeah, until today, they all love Jimmy.
That's fair.
And Hero doesn't even have a beef with Jimmy. Hero is just finally feeling like I got the team and I'm eating. Like I ain't about to mess nothing up. Like I'm doing what I gotta do. Period.
Yeah. This is sad.
It is
now
sad.
it looks like he has
we can't hold Cat developing into a dog 7 years later against Jimmy. Like that don't like he wasn't a dog back then. We all know he was. There's the meme going around about like the 180 he's done back when he was viral trying to post up DeMarcus Cousins and looking crazy. And then when he did to Mo Wagner this year, like he's grown. So we're not gonna act like he was that and Jimmy was disrespecting him. He was not that. He was not that.
I don't think he was soft like that. I think that was just
yes, he was.
I don't think so. I think that was a bad reputation.
I don't know because that's what Jeff Teague was saying. That like Jimmy came to him and was like, nah, he's not like that. He's not. He initially was like, oh, he's got that dog in him. No, he's.
I believe everything Jeff Teague says.
Exactly. Jeff Teague don't lie.
Everything he says.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Teague said that Jimmy Butler called.
Shout out to Teague, man.
No.
He wasn't like that, bro. He wasn't.
Jeff Teague don't care either. That's the thing.
I love Jeff Teague, man.
So to wrap this episode up, speaking in the world of trades, y'all want to act like I don't know what I be talking about.
What are you talking about?
What did I say? What did I say our needs were 2 pods ago? Maybe not even 2 pods. I think it might have been last pod. Yeah, it was last pod. What did I say? The Lakers.
You talking about the Lakers?
Yeah. What did I say the Lakers' needs were?
Man, Charles Barkley told us about y'all already, man. He's right.
Regardless, whatever.
Y'all overrated.
What's in the West? 1-7 of our last 10. Anyway, what did I say our needs were? I said our needs were a bruising big, and a tall 2-way wing.
Yeah.
And who did I say to free? I said free DeAndre Hunter and free DFS. And who did we go get? And we've won.
D'Lo gone.
You know, a quick eulogy for D'Lo. D'Lo.
Eulogy.
Eulogy is kind of crazy.
D'Lo is a really good player in this league. I think he's like. I think it's funny that him, Cat, and Booker are like the trio of that draft class, and they're really close friends. Because again, situation dictates everything. It dictates everything. I think D'Lo was never developed properly. I think
I agree.
Getting first round draft picks with Kobe still on the team. In theory, it made sense to try to rebuild and still give Kobe his farewell tour. Um, but it messed up the development. I think Julius Randle suffered because of it. I think Julius Randle never developed the way he was supposed to because he had to play next to Kobe. I think the same thing about D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell came in and his player comp was James Harden. And what did we learn about James Harden is that he was a player that needed to have the ball in his hands. And he is a system. And he has to run offense to get the best out of him to be a scorer and facilitator. They never let D'Lo do that. Byron Scott never trusted D'Lo with the ball. He never let him grow through. Look at what Jalen Green's doing now with Ime Udoka, being allowed to grow through his point guard pain, right? His point guard growing pain. Same thing with Shea. Shea was allowed to grow through his point guard pains. D'Lo was never allowed to grow through those. And then he got shifted out, and Magic Johnson said he wasn't a leader. He goes to Brooklyn. He gets with Kenny Atkinson, who gives him complete trust, who gives him the keys to the offense, gives him the ball. He turns himself into an all-star in his 4th year, right? Scoring, facilitating, leading that team.
Nice.
He outplays his projection so much that the Warriors think he could be a nice combo guard. He was the original Jordan Poole. That's what they thought D'Lo was going to be. And D'Lo played incredibly well in that system. The problem was they thought they didn't have enough wings. So D'Lo played his trade value up, and they shipped him to get Andrew Wiggins. Boy, does that look like... I mean, it worked out. They got a championship, and they were able to get another D'Lo and Jordan Poole. So it worked out for them. They drafted Jordan Poole, and they got Andrew Wiggins, and they won a chip. Then he goes to Minnesota, and he's stuck with Cat, ironically, and they're both in the same boat. The team doesn't know what they are / what they want them to be. We now see Cat as a center. Cat is a center. The Timberwolves kept going back and forth on whether they wanted him to be a center or a power forward, and what did they eventually decide? We're going to make you a power forward at 7'1" and put another 7'1" guy in the paint and encourage you to shoot threes because you're the best shooting big man ever. And D'Lo, they didn't know if they wanted to be a combo guard or a point guard, and then you go and get Mike Conley, the prototypical point guard of the last era, this side of Chris Paul. And so, am I a 2 guard now? What am I? Oh, but wait, then you draft Anthony Edwards. So, what am I exactly? What are you asking me to do? He goes to the Lakers. He gets traded. What does he get to be the first year he got traded to the Lakers when we go to the Western Conference? The starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. We have the best record post All-Star break or post trade deadline. We go to the Western Conference Finals. He gets cooked on defense, which has always been a problem, but that's a problem for a lot of point guards in the league, if we're being honest. He loses that trust. He loses his point guard spot. They try putting him on the bench. They try turning him back into a combo. He even comes out that second year, and they ask him about being the point guard, and he flat up he says, I'm not a point guard on this team. He said, I'm a basketball player. That's what I'm being asked to do. I'm being asked to be a basketball player, but I'm not being asked to play point guard on this team. When D'Lo is in his bag, he gets maybe top 5 hot. Like his hot streaks are top 5 in the league. When D'Lo gets hot, he could rattle off 15 straight in 2 minutes. He's an incredibly productive player, and he's an incredible facilitator. I've seen him double-digit assists easily, making all the right reads. When he's in it, he's a flow rhythm player who needs to be allowed to be a point guard on the team. And if you get some good two-way wings around him and you can stick him on a corner shooter and not make him have to guard point of the attack and trap if he gets put in the pick and roll and have the ability to switch, I believe he can be a winning player. I don't know about a championship. I don't know if he can be a starting point guard on a championship team, but hey, I've seen Fred VanVleet be a starting guard on a championship team, and we know he can't guard a traffic cone. So I mourn for D'Angelo Russell and the way his career has been mismanaged, the fact that he's cycling through his career again and going back to Brooklyn, being left for dead once again on an aspiring contract. I hope him and his agent are able to sit down this summer and really, really figure out what is the proper situation for him to flourish and maybe get another good contract, or maybe find a team that has the right spot for him to be a winner. We're talking about who could use a good point guard right now in terms of De'Aaron Fox. I don't know who could use a D'Angelo Russell and be really good.
I do.
Who has the defense around him to be really good? Who's that?
The Magic.
They have too many guards already. They're trying to get rid of some of their guards.
Yeah, get rid of some of them and get D'Lo. Keep everything else.
They say the Nets might buy him out, right?
Yeah.
Very possible.
It's not happening. They can't. Well, they can, but there's no. It makes it harder for him to sign to another team. I think that was.
If Chris Paul retires, go take him over to San Antonio, put him with a pop. I like that. I like that a lot.
Real quick. The Nets need to figure out what they're trying to do. If you keep D'Angelo Russell,
we're not talking about the Nets.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you keep D'Angelo Russell, you're not getting.
He's
Cooper
a free
Flag.
agent this summer anyway, bro. He's a free agent this summer anyway.
But they're not getting. But they're not getting Cooper Flag if they keep D'Angelo Russell.
We're kind of too far out. I think. Well, I don't want to talk about it, but there's still possibilities.
Not the Nets either.
There's still possibilities.
I think if Chris Paul retires, him going to San Antonio, I think they might give him a pretty nice contract actually to pair him with Wemby. I think keep strong point guard play with Wemby. I think that's a pretty good team going forward. D'Angelo Russell's not the youngest, but he's also not old. He's sort of right in the middle of his prime. So you pair him with Wemby, I think that could work. If he wants to make the full rotation to play with both of his guys, send him to Phoenix.
Nah, they need defense, man.
They do, but I mean, in terms of strong point guard play, send him to Phoenix. Let him play with D Book. That's a pretty devastating backcourt.
That's true, but you get rid of Bradley Beal?
No,
they probably won't, but I think you should.
A lot of Bradley. Here's the truth: Bradley Beal doesn't fit into that many teams anymore.
I agree. I agree with that. He's like Zach LaVine. He's like Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine as a wing.
They're both too good, but not good enough, right? Like they're good. They're the best shooting guards. They're the best shooting guards in the league, but they're not good enough to be the best players on the. Not even just that, but to be the best player on a team, and it's really hard to have.
Are they the best shooting guards in the league?
Yeah, Ant Book, and then you got to go Brad Beal, Zach LaVine. I mean.
Ant Book for sure. I
agree. I think it's a contract. That's the only reason why Zach LaVine
and D Mitch, right? Yeah. I mean, you see what's working with Cleveland, right? That's what you would have to have around.
White, don't sleep.
That's what you would have to have around guys like Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine. You would have to have the level of Cleveland size and shooting to allow a guy like Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal to be your best player. And there's just not a ton of teams. Oklahoma City as well. There's just not a ton of teams that have that, right? To allow a player with that play style to be the best player in teams. There's not a lot of teams that have that.
Look at this.
I mean, of course, he's a third option right now, but that's the thing. For a shooting guard to be your best player, he's got to be all world, or your team has to be really, really good, and that just doesn't exist for those guys. But anyway, the Lakers have won 7 of our last 10. The first game we played with DFS, we lost. New team, and I think who do we play? It was the damn Pistons, who have had our number this year, and I don't know why, but it's because they're a very physical team, and we don't have our bruising big yet, and so they out physical us. But then we lost
Isaiah Stewart. Is that the reason?
Yeah, and then we lost to Cleveland only by 12, and Reeves had a 35-point triple-double. So I mean, I figured I took that as a good loss. I mean, we played extremely well, and we almost beat, not almost, but like we stayed competitive for a lot of the game with the best team in the league right now. And then we got a win over Portland, which we should have, and we got a win over Atlanta last night, which Atlanta's a decent team, and we smacked them up. So I like the addition. I think we are still one more piece. I'd like to go get a tall 2, a nice tall 2, or that bruising big, ideally both. Maybe free Robert Williams. I think, I would like to keep AD center, so getting a backup big, although Jackson Hayes is playing really well. Maybe we just get another, two-way guard with some size. I think we might be cooking with something. We got to get Gabe Vincent back. We got to get Christian Wood back. I want to get Vando back to see what it looks like, but he's a non-shooter, so if we can him for something, that would be really good. But hey, man, fourth in the competitive West. What do y'all think?
I mean,
6 games above 500.
I don't know. I don't know if it really matters that much. I'm not gonna lie to you because of the comments that we're seeing right now. Oklahoma City is so nice. It is
they're
not
good.
even close. It's not even close.
And I have a closing point in the pod about that that's going to lead me into the next pod, but go ahead.
Sure. But what I was going to say is this circles back to our Sacramento Kings conversation. There's such a the teams are so close from 2 to 11 that it's hard for the Sacramento Kings to be like, I'm better than this, that, and the third. But it's all fighting for second because the Oklahoma City Thunder are that good. So
but just in terms of that fight, where do you see the Lakers, especially after this trade? Having seen them play a few games.
They're exactly where they are. They're exactly where they should be. That's
2 games behind the Rockets. Do you think they could catch them?
Yeah, I think so.
2.5 games behind Memphis.
Especially listen, watch LeBron teams generally have a burst after the All-Star game. So
because he starts playing for real.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So watch that. Also watch the Clippers, as the comments just said, because Kawhi is back. I don't know how big of an impact.
I'm not jacking the Clippers at all.
That's fine, but you got to jack. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are a deadly combination.
Ugh.
They are a deadly combination.
I feel like the Clippers this year. They're kind of overachieving, I think.
Especially with Norman Powell playing well.
No, they're doing what James Harden teams do. Win enough games to be mid and go nowhere.
That's crazy.
That's what James Harden's teams do. He's so good that he can win you a fair amount of games, and in the playoffs, he's easily guarded, and you lose.
But that doesn't happen with Kawhi Leonard because you get Kawhi Leonard to the playoffs, you know what happens.
You got to play.
When's the last time the Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs thing did anything?
Well, the last time he played healthy. The last time he was healthy.
He's been in the playoffs 2 times with the Clippers, and they've gone nowhere.
But he's never been healthy.
That's not true.
That's not true. No. He hasn't been healthy. He's played hurt. He's played hurt.
That's not true. He got hurt in 2 of those playoff runs, but he entered those playoffs healthy, and for one of them, he was healthy and finished, and they just lost.
Which one was that?
When was he healthy and finished?
The bubble.
Yes,
he was. And then at a certain point, if we're gonna say he's never healthy, what are we saying? Is this the year? Anything. Is this the miraculous year?
That's a better argument to me. But that's a better argument.
As far as the Lakers go,
listen, 2 sides of the same coin to me. Like, I don't believe that he is that much of an impact player in terms of winning anymore. And if you're saying that's because of health, I also don't believe he's ever going to be healthy again. So,
starting by your knees.
Literally.
Y'all think this trade is a marginal impact? The Lakers are right where they should be at 4th. They could catch the Rockets, you think, at 3rd. You don't think they can catch the Grizzlies at 2?
They could. I just don't think.
Now, in terms of playoff guys with reputation, you think if the season ends and the Lakers end the season with the 2 seed, you don't think they make noise in the playoffs as a 2 seed?
Let me tell you about your.
If they ended the 2 seed,
why 2 seed?
No, because I'm asking if post trade you think they're 2 games behind the Rockets, and they're 2.5 games behind Grizzlies. So I'm asking if you think they catch the Rockets. Guys said yes. I said, what about the Grizzlies? They said yes. I say, okay, say if that happens, if the Lakers go into the playoffs as the 2 seed in the West, what kind of noise do you think they can make? Andre's saying Western Conference Finals.
Here's also what I'm saying. Last night we saw the finals preview, so Paul knows what I'm talking about.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this, right? The Lakers are streaky, and they are streaky because their shooters are streaky, right? Yes. You have good interior defense. You got.
It could be better though. It could be better.
It could be better, but you still got AD, right?
Yes.
You have
need more
good
wings.
players, right? Dalton Connect is a player, right?
Yeah.
Austin Reeves is a player.
Austin Reeves should get some bench
All-star
all-star
consideration. I agree.
consideration. Yes,
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 that
he
is
really
nice.
should. He
Austin
really
Reeves
should.
is nice. I'm not gonna lie, he's nice.
Yeah.
But Rui Hachimura is
Very good year.
Very good year. But the problem is you got a bunch of guys. It's almost like the original Lakers with Kobe and Randall and them, except for these guys are a little bit older. They're not rookies, right?
No, that team sucked. That team is nowhere near as good as this.
No, but no, right. But because they were rookies, though, right? They
these
had
aren't
guys.
These are some good 4-year, 5-year guys.
Yeah, but they're I don't think they complement each other that well. I really don't, and that's why y'all are.
I think we need glue guys. I think you're right. I think we need glue guys. That's why I think DFS has helped because he fits in the middle and he connects the missing piece between LeBron and a Rui and the AR, right? Like he's the ball mover, he's the spacer, he's the guy that's gonna do the dirty work to allow those guys to flourish. I think we need one more of those.
The spacing has been good for him. He's been shooting very well from the 3-point line this year. If that dips though, then it doesn't matter.
I don't. That's why I want to get one more guy because to your point, I think your streakiness, right? I think if you get enough players like that, and you know, pause. If their cycles don't sync up, but hear me out. If their cycles don't sync up, then you should be okay because at least 2 of those guys will be on at any given game. Right now, we're dependent on Austin and Rui both being on, right? So they're often on and off together. Pause, right? But DFS now mixes that up because if Rui's off, DFS has a good chance of being on, and then Austin's been pretty consistent, right? And then you're gonna get what you get out of LeBron and AD. We need one more guy, right? That way, it's like okay. If Rui and Austin are just in terms of shooting are off, DFS and this other wing will be good. And if they're not on, Rui and AR will be good so that you have the consistency. That's why I think we need one more of those glue guys, those all 2-way wings, because then that means defense is always good because you got the switchability, you got the length, you're going to get the rebounding, and then you have enough guys that can on any given night make shots.
I see what you're saying, but the problem now is if you get those guys, now you have too many players, and now you got to manage.
Because the guys that are getting minutes now aren't going to play. Because if I'm being honest, Max Christie, look, Max Christie has had a great run the past 2 weeks. He just had his career high last night.
You gonna do that to that young man? You gonna sit that young man out the way?
This man doesn't care.
If it's about chips, you're not ready. Max and Dalton, I'm so sorry. You're our future. But here's the thing. I like doing that to players. Listen. Guys that aren't going to be – look. Unless you're going to be a star, right? If you're going to be a star, I need you to play because I need you to get your growing pains. If your ceiling
you about what?
Growing pains.
Oh, okay.
If your ceiling is elite role player anyway – look. If your ceiling is elite role player anyway, come be on this bench and witness a chip. Because then let me finish the point though. Because then once our current role player veterans are done, if AD and AR are still good to go, AD is just cracking 30. Let's say we win something now. Let's say the DFSs, the LeBrons, they leave. Rui enters his prime. AD and still in his prime. AR enters prime. Now Max and Dalton are ready. They've watched the championship. They maybe even played some good minutes in the playoffs to have some confidence. Now Max and Dalton are those guys. Yeah, now Max and Dalton become those guys, and you got a new nucleus post LeBron to go. But if we can get another guy who's ready now to be a role player, a Matthias Thybulle, I'm gonna keep talking into existence, bro. I'm gonna keep talking into existence.
You do the scouting for the Lakers,
yeah. If we can get a Matthias Thybulle, if we can if we can somehow free DeAndre Hunter as well,
if they can get him a young superstar.
Already come off the bench in Atlanta. No, forget the young superstar. AR and AD. Those are our stars moving forward. Okay, post LeBron. Right. If we're talking about right now, though, we have LeBron. So LeBron, AD, AR. We got DFS. We got Rui. Max is playing well as Dalton. If we could turn Max and Dalton's minutes into a Matthias Thybulle or a DeAndre Hunter, Get Christian Wood back. Even throw Vando in there if you want, but I like to flip him. If we could flip Vando for DeAndre Hunter, that'd be nice, right? Then you're talking about AR. Let's say Hunter, Braun, DFS. Oh no, AR, Hunter, Rui, Braun, AD with DFS, and you throw Dalton or Max out there for a few minutes off the bench with Gabe Vincent and Christian Wood. You got something there.
You talking about DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you not getting.
Yeah, no, they're not good.
If I'm Hawks, you gotta give me AR for DeAndre Hunter.
That's a
AR for DeAndre Hunter.
That's a
That's
fact.
Go look at his numbers this season. You gotta give me a lot.
Oh, he's
for
on my
DeAndre
fantasy
Hunter.
team. I know, but he's on their bench.
Oh
anyway,
yeah, so
bro.
you know. So you know.
He's off their
So
bench.
you gotta give me a lot. You gotta give me a lot.
Who do you think they're gonna give
He's
up?
off
Gabe
their,
Vincent?
he's
Come
off
on.
their bench and
This
Vando.
is a fact, no man.
Vando. If Vando gets healthy and plays well, we can fit Vando and listen, Vando and a first round.
What about Bronny?
One first
Vando-
round for DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
What about Bronny?
Not for Vando.
What about you were trying to convince me last episode that Bronny?
I'll come
Is
back
nice.
to that because I did my research, but I don't want to do that in this pod because we're already.
Oh,
way
you
over
did
what
some
I-
research.
Yes, but we're already way over. I just want to get your less opinions on that. If we can go get that another 6'6" to 6'8" two-way guy,
Hard to
and we
get.
get
Hard
Chris,
to get.
I know, but we just got one
I'll say
for D'Lo and second rounders, right?
would
So you
say-
can't tell me we can't find another one for like Vando and first rounders or Christian Wood and first rounders,
Man doesn't look good enough.
but with the first rounders.
Low seeds though. Low.
No,
know,
not
y'all are-
necessarily.
Not
Not
necessarily because
Most first rounders are.
15.
How many first rounders is it? Just I think
we have
it's
two.
just
We have two first
two.
rounders to give.
Hmm.
They're
Plus
gonna be
one of the
lower
players.
in the draft. They're gonna be like 15 or so.
We're not. I mean, that's only if you think the trade that we do is going to have us be really good for a long time because those first rounders are in like
They're like
28 and 30.
30s, yeah, 20 to 30s, 20, 30.
3 years from now, that's crazy. Yo, we're in the future. Yo,
We're
That's
in
kind of
the
crazy.
future.
But
What
actually,
do you-
yeah, I did.
what
That's
do you
closer to what it sounds. But you're right.
yeah.
I'll say this. I would say that trade for DFS was really good for Hofferson because of what you said. They didn't give up a first rounder, but so it positions them to do another
Really
trade
go
to
get somebody, get a
someone else.
starter level player. Like
Right. The only thing is it took Brooklyn, to make that trade when Brooklyn is kind of like the perfect trade partner for them. They got it's hard to find a trade partner that's like.
no, you
Brooklyn
go
is, like,
find the
selling
same thing.
people.
Who else is tearing it
But
down?
that's my point. That's my
Portland
point.
tearing it down. Matthias Tybalt,
Yeah,
27
Portland-
years old, 6'5", two-way
But
guy.
the thing is, Portland is not tearing it down. Portland is down. And that's they're actively trying to tear it down. Portland don't gotta do a thing, and they still gonna be in the Cooper Frag race. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna
why
take a
not-
lot of
but-
incentive to get.
But what do they need? What do they need? Picks.
They don't need anything because they
need picks.
They're trash. They need Jesus.
They need picks. They need Jesus. You telling me they don't? You telling me that they don't let go of Matthias Tybalt for a first rounder?
with ties time.
It's
If
time.
it works, but that makes you gotta have an incentive. So if you're 2 draft picks from a Ty Cyber, I mean that might be it.
I mean, the
But
Utah
Ty
Jazz.
Cyber
maybe-
worth two draft picks though.
I don't know if I give him 2 first. I think you can get it done with
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
You can get Matthias Tybalt
Potentially.
with like an expiring contract and a first rounder. Who else is down? The Pelicans, but I don't want anyone they have.
Yeah.
You don't want Zion?
I was trying to say,
No.
you really want
No, I
You
don't.
know Herb Jones?
The players I want, they're not going to
They're
get
not
rid of.
getting
They're not
Yeah,
getting
they're
rid of. They're not getting
Yeah.
rid of Trey Murphy, and they're not getting rid of Herb Jones. And those are the only
You
two
know,
players that I
who
want.
I think would do well on the Lakers?
CJ McCollum.
Jose
No.
Alvarado.
No,
Yeah,
we don't
he's
need that.
great
We don't
on
need
He's
that. We
small.
don't
He's
need that.
small.
We don't
They
need
to
another
win.
guard.
They need to win.
Yeah, we don't need another
Where
guard.
does
I mean,
CJ
Utah
McCollum
Jazz. If the Utah Jazz make up their mind, who would I want off the Utah Jazz? Let me get
Walker Kessler.
no, because I honestly
They're not
don't.
giving him up.
Yeah, I also don't want to do the too big look. Like the way that with DFS now, like I think I'd rather be big 2 through 4, right? Because Rui's 6'9", DFS is 6'9", and LeBron is 6'9", right? I like that 2, 3, 4 as the majority of those minutes, right? I just need another guy to slot in at the 2 that's a little better than Max Christie.
How come we're not a Lakers podcast? We've been talking about the Lakers for 30
Yeah,
minutes.
I've been reading that a long time ago. But let me
That's not true.
talk about the Knicks.
We started
Let me talk
at
about
one.
the Knicks for 30 minutes.
We made a trade. When the Knicks did something, you did a whole pod. The Lakers made one trade. I gave 25 minutes to them. Relax.
Because
He
we
right,
became
he
the
right,
best
he
team in the
right.
NBA. That's why.
Come on, man. Come
You're
on,
right,
He's
man.
right.
Best
He's right.
team in the
We're talking
NBA,
about trade they did. He's right.
It was
It's
a
different.
trade. Come
It's
on,
different.
man.
Does this trade make you the best team in the NBA?
That's okay. No, obviously not. But it's
Then I don't
interesting.
want to hear it,
Is
man.
it not
30 minutes is
interest-
a lot.
Is it?
Minor,
It's
minor
been
trade.
20 minutes. You're making it 30 now by not allowing me to end the
30
conversation.
minutes. Crazy.
Charlotte Hornets.
What about
Do
them?
they have
They're
anybody? Let's see. Who could they free?
Miles Bridges.
No. I mean,
No.
it would work,
No.
but no.
No.
I mean, that would. He's making way too much money.
That
He's making
man.
way too
Here's
much
some
money.
places that man doesn't need to go. He doesn't need to go to New York. He
Yo,
doesn't need to go
but
to
Cody
LA.
Martin.
He doesn't need to go to Miami.
Cody Martin.
Cody Martin would be good.
That's a good
Cody Martin
pick.
would be
He only
So,
makes
wait,
he only
you
makes
want-
8 million. He's 29, 6'6", 200.
He's like a guard. I thought you wanted more like a wing.
No, but he's a 6'6" guard who
Isn't he
plays 2
6'8"?
and 3.
True.
I thought he was bigger than that.
And he
I thought
could shoot.
was big.
This
And
man
he's
is
two-way,
wild.
right?
Did you see
Say
this
that's
on-
our starting. Say that's our starting, right? And we could bring the Max Christie, who's playing great,
Yo,
as
these
off the
comments
bench.
are crazy.
AR, Cody Martin, Rui Bron AD to start, and your bench you got Gabe Vincent, Christian
Bronny
Wood,
James.
Max Christie, and DFS.
And Bronny
You should look at the Trailblazers. Study the Trailblazers because they should be selling like crazy.
I mean, I said Matthias Tybal already.
Oh yes, you did.
What about Malcolm
I feel like they
Brogdon?
got more.
Is he out there too?
Yeah, but he's never healthy these days, and
How
he's
you feel
still too
about
small. He's still
Shade
too
on
small.
Sharp from the Nets.
From the
Ooh,
Nets?
I actually like him.
Oh, that I like.
Why
That,
not?
that would
I don't
be
think.
good.
I think if we were gonna get him, it would have been in the trade already.
Yeah, facts.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if he shoots enough for what we're looking for.
Oh no.
So let's do those two play. All right, last question. If the top 9 for the Lakers becomes AR, either Matthias Tybal or Cody Martin, Rui Bron AD, and then off the bench Gabe, Max Christie, DFS, and Christian Wood, and then the last two, you throw in Dalton Connect or Jackson Hayes for a few minutes there. If that team finishes second in the West, what does that look like?
Looks like
What do you mean that? What does that look like? What's the question you really want to ask?
What kind of noise does it make?
it looks like they're losing the Western Conference Finals.
Now, here's the thing: if we get to the conference finals and we play the Thunder,
Let me see something.
do you think Shea is ready to beat a LeBron James-led team?
I think this year.
You see the bias coming out?
MVP this year.
I'm asking the question. I'm not telling you an
He's
answer.
playing like- hold on.
I'm
He's playing
asking
like
the
the
question.
You being biased, and Knicks is winning the
I'll
trip.
answer right now. I think Shea's ready. He's
I'm
playing
that.
like an MVP. His entire team has stepped up. They've all gotten better, which is crazy. They've all gotten better together. That's actually insane.
What was the first thing you said?
I still don't believe in the
Hold
Thunder.
on. What was the first thing you said?
Shea's playing like an MVP.
Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Why?
I still
I have a lot to say about
Why?
Shea.
Because he's
I
playing.
don't think they're
I have
ready.
a
I still
lot
don't think they're ready.
to say about Shea because
What do you have-
Anthony
no, say it right
Edwards
now.
is
Say it
getting
right now.
no, not an hour or two. I'm ready. I'm gonna start the pod off with this because Anthony Edwards is out here and he's giving bad sauce in these interviews. And that man Shea is over there without his second best player. They've lost 5 games, and he's giving you great sauce,
They won
and
one
he's not
game
being
last night,
marketed at
unfortunately.
all.
Marketing. Here we go.
What do you mean they? Wait.
Tune in
Hold
next
on, I'm
week.
sorry. Did you say
Tune in next week.
No. Because you just said they lost 5 games. They're on a 14-game winning streak. What are you talking?
No, they lost. No, he's saying they're good.
Only lost
Oh,
5
only
games.
5. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Tune in
will
next
say this
week.
though.
And I'm gonna go in my why Shea needs to be elevated in the NBA echelon.
I did think about.
Oh,
I did think about.
Okay, I like
No,
this.
yeah.
I like this.
He needs to be elevated in the NBA echelon,
Okay,
and the
all right,
NBA
all
is failing themselves by not highlighting this guy and what he's doing.
Okay,
I
good. I
think-
thought you were gonna say he doesn't deserve it or something like that. Because I was like, you're out of your
No,
mind.
I
in
did-
the illustrious words of God, he deserves it all.
I think. I was thinking about that earlier because when we were talking about the shift in the paradigm in the NBA, the Thunder are leading it.
Kobe.
The
The
Thunder
are leading it.
and the NBA,
NBA
has
needs
to
to. Yes.
have to embrace the
Yes.
new. They
Paul,
do.
you finally
Wait,
come to
wait,
my
wait,
side
wait,
of
wait,
the-
But I don't know what that
Yes.
looks like, though. I don't know what that looks
Shea,
like.
because I just said
It's
something.
easy.
Shea
I don't want
reminds me
to.
of
I don't want to
Kobe.
tell you
Hold
how
on,
it's,
hold
but
on,
it's
wait,
so
wait, wait.
easy.
Can I put
Shea
this
is a
out?
perfect superstar. He's
Can I
perfect.
put this out
He's
there for
perfect.
next week? Can I put this out there for next week? To me, I look at Shea. He's playing like Kobe. Should he be the face of the NBA?
He can't be the face of that NBA.
Tune in next week, and that's what I want to. I want to
Is
answer
it because
why
he's Canadian,
can't
Paul? Tell me.
he? The
I'll
man
tell
is
you.
the man is
I got
black
different
with
reasons.
dreads, swaggy. He's everything you need.
Dread.
He has the aura that the young kids like, but he's
He's
also
North
clean cut.
American. That
No,
works.
no trouble, no legal trouble, no family troubles that we
Oh
hear
my
of on the
God.
court. He keeps to himself. Like
The man just tries to hoop and play
That
basketball,
tone, that
man.
iron.
he gives you good. He's a great leader. His teammates love him. He gives you great sauce in interviews. Like I don't know what it is, NBA. I get that Oklahoma is a small market, but you've done it before, man. You turned Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook into the biggest NBA stars on earth.
The
I've
NBA
seen you
did that,
do
or
it.
they did that.
It was a collaboration.
Let's talk about it next episode.
We'll talk about
man.
it
Man,
next
he was
week.
only born in Kentucky,
Let's talk
in
about it.
Canada. He was really from New York. He's from East Side, don't you know?
Come on,
Wait,
man.
what? He's from where?
East New York, man. Just like Paul.
Shea?
I'm not from East New York. What are you talking
That man is big saucy. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you
That's
talking
crazy.
about?
That's actually insane. You said that. Like, what are you talking about?
What is this Long Islander talking about?
This
That
man
is-
said you're from
That's
East New York.
crazy.
What?
That is crazy.
I'm from the middle of the floss, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, bro? He went to high school and everything. He went to high school in Canada. He moved to the United
I know, I
States
just
in
heard.
high school
I
and
just heard
transferred
saying
to
that.
Hamilton Heights in Tennessee.
So you just out here spreading misinformation.
Yes.
Oh, brother.
Let's end the podcast, man. When he gets like
He went.
this, it's
He
not
went.
good
He went to. He went. Where did he go for college? He went to.
I would say that man is mad Canadian.
He went,
Very
he went to
young.
Jamaican. That's how Canadian he is.
Yeah.
Kentucky. Love getting them Canadian guards. Huh?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. It's close enough. He's North American, man. That's close enough for me.
That's
Close
enough
enough
for
to
us
New York.
this week. Catch us on stream. We're probably about to fire up Took right now. Catch us on stream.
What did you just say?
We're probably about to fire up the Took right now. Catch us
The
on
Took?
stream on Twitch. At
The
our ad is at Fast Breaks, right?
Yeah.
Fast Race Podcast, I think.
At
Fast
Fast
Breaks
Breaks Podcast on Twitch.
Yeah,
Tune in. Go like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube.
Wait, my
please,
bad.
please,
I'm
please
quick.
run it up.
Real quick. So, breaking news. I know it's not so much really breaking news, but like we like to show players roses and love. But Derrick
I
Rose,
like when you do that.
the Chicago Bulls are about to retire Derrick Rose jersey.
Did they announce that they're going to?
They announced it.
Yeah.
He's the most
It's official.
important bull in history after
Whoa.
Scottie Pippen.
Wait, what?
After
No, like
Mike-
in the list, like it's Mike, Scotty.
Oh,
Derrick
okay.
Oh, that's how they
He cleared that. He cleared that.
Oh, you gotta put that in the clip. You gotta put that in the clip.
I can't remember. I'm not clipping myself this week. Too bad.
It's worth it. It's worth
too
it.
bad.
F it. It's
Nah,
worth
do
it. It's
do
worth
do
it.
Too bad.
It's worth it. Do it. Got us. We're weird. But yeah, just wanted to do that.
That's a fact.
Shout out to D Rose, man. He
Anyway, like I
deserves
Shout
it.
out to D Rose, man.
Like,
And Tom Thibodeau will be in the building.
as he should.
Mm.
That man owes him a lot. A lot. He owes him a knee, 2 actually,
Two knees. Pause.
That's
a
crazy.
championship. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, run it up on our YouTube. Check that out. We're posting segments of the pod. You don't got to watch the whole 2 hours if you don't want. It's all broken up for you. Run our clips up. Hit us up on IG, TikTok, and Twitch. This is Fast Breaks. We out. Light it up.
Come on. It's Fast Breaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah, yeah. And we really study tape. Yeah, you just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen. Yeah, way more than a fan. We got love for the game, we don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet.